Hey everybody. So, Temu. Everyone's suddenly been talking about Temu. It's like it just suddenly exploded into existence. I don't know about you, but I was just seeing adverts for it everywhere. All of a sudden. Some people were saying, oh, it's terrible, but some people were saying, no, it's quite good. It's like, well, what is it? And I was constantly being advertised these things. I'm like, oh, it looks kind of cool, but it can't be that good, right? They reached out to me multiple times. I think like a dozen times in a week. I got emails from Temu asking for me to make a video. Since I've decided to start doing this shit or legit series, I'm like, well, let's see if it's good, because I really have heard very mixed things. Some people really don't seem to trust the website. Some people say they've had nothing but positive experiences, so I tried it out for myself. I decided, alright, I will do the video. Thought it only made sense that Temu would be the next thing to come under the shit or legit hammer. What is Temu? It's one of those websites that has everything, and I mean, like, it's befuddling, it's overwhelming. You can type in just about anything and they have it. It's pretty tempting as a New Zealander in a country where we don't have Amazon, and it's quite hard to get stuff off the internet. The prices for shipping tend to be so massive, it's not worth it. We also have to pay customs, we have to pay a lot of tax. So a lot of New Zealanders especially have been like trying out Temu. I tried to be an unbiased judge, go into this with no real expectations, but honestly, my expectations were quite low. The other thing it's become known for is for having such incredibly low prices, right? It's meant to be like really, really cheap. And that's because the product, I think, comes directly from the manufacturer. I have a giant pile of stuff here beside me and we're going to have a look at it. My first impressions were regarding the price was that things weren't like super cheap. A lot of stuff was, but not everything was like, wow, that's so cheap. I think a lot of these things were kind of the price I'd expect to pay in a shop if I saw the thing. I've moved house recently. I don't have much by the way of decor. There were a few things that I've been wanting to get anyway that I hadn't been able to find in shops around here, so I thought, well, I'll get them from Temu and see if they're good. I've got a variety of different things here. I've got some decorative homewares, I've got some beauty stuff, got some functional items, got a bit of jewelry, as well as lots of like original items. I saw a lot of knockoffs. I was like, that looks familiar, from Etsy sellers that I'm familiar with and independent artists, brands that I know well, but I'm contractually obliged not to mention other brands, but if you know, you know. But this is not necessarily Temu's fault itself. Other similar kinds of websites, these items come from many different makers and sellers. I would urge you, because it is definitely the right thing to do, if you are aware that something is a knockoff, you should, if you can, buy the original thing and support the original artist. Disclaimer. So what I decided I would do is I bought a few of the things that I know to be knockoffs to see what they were like. I don't want to be here all day yapping. Let's get on to actually looking at the things. By the way, if you download the Temu app and search for this special code, it'll come up with the items I'm showing you today and give you 50% off your first order there. Isn't that nice? So today we ask ourselves, Temu, is it shit or legit? We'll start with the homeware stuff, okay? We'll start with the homeware stuff. I'll start with this because I wanted this for ages. I actually bought this in Germany years ago and it got delivered to my neighbor and he kept it. Probably one of my favorite things in my living room now. This is super cool. It's meant to be a planter. I don't know if you really could plant anything in it, but my plan is to put like fake plants in it, like fake succulents or something, and now I want several of them. I'm talking New Zealand dollars here, so sorry if that's confusing to some of you, but this was $15. Pretty good actually. It's like I'd be stoked. If I saw this in a shop, I would definitely buy it. These things are a set of 3 that I'd wanted for a really long time. I'd seen them elsewhere online, so I went ahead and got them. This is a coffin shelf. I don't know what it's made of. I don't think it's wood. It's cool. It's really good. Like, don't know if you can see that, but it's a wall mounted coffin shelf that you could put like perfume bottles or skincare, or I'm gonna put my perfumes in it. This was part of a set with 2 of these little coffin shaped like makeup brush holders or pen holders or whatever you want to put in them. They're really cool. I think they're perfectly good. I feel like the set wasn't super cheap. It was 55 New Zealand dollars for the set of 3. Not crazy cheap. I'm really happy with it. It's really good. In a similar vein, I got this other shelf which is a wee bit smaller. I think this one is actually made of wood. You don't mount it on the wall or anything. It's got nothing on the back, so it just stands up. This I thought was kind of expensive. It was $31. I mean, it's just made of very light wood, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna break or anything. It's fine. Something specific that I had wanted for a long time was one of those beautiful tissue boxes, fake fancy tissue boxes, so I got one. It's white and silver, as you can see. I'm going to paint the white bits black. It came with a wee screwdriver to attach this bit on the back. It's just plastic. I love it. It's beautiful. It does what it's supposed to do. It was $17.50, which is pretty good. Like, I would absolutely buy this if I just saw it in a shop. I love my fancy tissue box. I have a toddler and a baby. We go through a lot of tissues, so I wanted something nice to put the tissues in. Another little household object. I just saw this. It was an impulse choice. I just thought this was really cute. It's a sponge holder. It suctions onto your sink or basin or whatever, and I guess you can put a soap in it or whatever, but yeah, it's for like your kitchen sponge, and it's a little skull. $2.50, which is super cheap. Kind of cute. I like it. It's fine. Another kind of cute but functional household item I found was this pump bottle. Just a clear plastic skull-shaped bottle. I haven't tested it out, obviously. I want to put like hand cream or lotion or something into it. I feel like putting something white in it would be the most appropriate. It would look the coolest. This was $7, so like, I feel like if you need to have a functional item, you might as well get like a cool version of it. This is another of the slightly more expensive items. This is a wee set of three. There's 3 of these mirrors, and they're actually adhesive. Peel off, I guess, so you're supposed to stick them to the wall or something, but I'm renting a house, so I'm not going to stick it to the wallpaper. They're really, really beautiful. I absolutely love Gothic architecture. So if I can find anything Gothic architecture inspired that's like a household decoration, I want it. The lightest, thinnest wood imaginable. The mirror's like plastic. So it really looks cool, but it wasn't super cheap. It was like $26. I guess the fact that it's meant to stick to the wall or your window, wherever you put it, I suppose it needs to be light for that. This was one of the knockoffs I decided to buy because I've got quite a few of these goblets by their original maker, and I will say this is rather good, but it's definitely not as good. I have, thank you so much Naomi, so cool, the door knocker of this design, and I can tell you it's like, it's really, really good. It's super cool. Thank you so much Naomi if you're watching this. That was an amazing surprise. I don't know what the original of this item costs. This was $15. It looks okay from a distance. You can see like the painting is a bit sloppy. There's even like a wee bit of paint missing there. The metal cup on the inside is a little bit crooked. It's like glued on a bit crooked. So I will reiterate that rather than buying knockoffs, the right thing to do, not just quality wise but morally, always, if you can, buy from the original artist. The next 2 things are knockoffs that I immediately recognized. The first one is this bat candle holder. It's made of resin, it's plain black, and it looked very familiar. I don't have the original one to like compare it to. I was expecting this knockoff to be pretty bad, but you know what? It's not. It's quite good. The only flaw I can see is like there's a crack there, but it's not gonna break or anything. As far as I can tell from the pictures, it looks pretty much exactly the same. The only thing that's missing is the logo. It's good. Didn't want to say that. Another one was an item that I have wanted for so long from a seller that I absolutely adore. This is anatomical heart-shaped vase that I've wanted for years. I have one thing from this Etsy seller, and it's one of my favorite ornaments. But again, with the whole shipping to New Zealand thing, it's just, the shipping with Temu is free, so again, it's pretty tempting for New Zealanders. So here is what I'm pretty sure is a knockoff of the heart-shaped vase that I've always wanted. But it's not the same. It's much smaller. I expected this little vase to be like really poor quality, but it's not. It's good. I mean, some of the painting is a wee bit messy, but like it's got plenty of detail. It's got shading in the painting. A lot of the comments were like, oh, I'd seen this on Etsy, but it was like $100. This is much better. It's like, this is not the same thing. First of all, the original is handmade. It is 25 centimeters high. This is 15 centimeters. It's not an exact copy, but it is surprisingly good. It's nowhere near as outstanding as the artist's original pieces. By itself, if I didn't know that this was a copy of something from Etsy, I would just be like really stoked with it. These are spoons. You may have seen them around, and the reason I got these is because I've already got them. I've got the genuine original articles. This was a pack of 4 of these spoons, right? See? Aren't they awesome? Like skull shaped spoons, and I was like, these are gonna be flimsy. Once again, they're not. Nothing came with any branding or logos on it. This says it's manufactured by a stainless steel products factory, so I guess it probably is real stainless steel. They're really good. They seem good. I didn't want to like these things, but I have to be honest. That's the point of these shit or legit things. I will tell you if something's shit, I will tell you if it's good, and so far everything's just been good. This one is another anatomical heart-shaped vase. It's nice, like it's way better than I expected it to be. It's solid, it stands upright, it looks amazing. It's an unusual sort of vase because all the like arteries and things are a single stem of a flower or a feather or whatever you want. It's good, it's really cool, I like it. What did it cost? It was 20 New Zealand dollars, which is really good. There's just like so many things in this pile. I keep like going, oh yeah, and that, and that, and that. This is another candle holder. It's actually one of the only things that I was a bit like, about. This was 5 New Zealand dollars, which is, I feel, was actually like a bit much. It's a wee tea light candle holder. It's made of light but fairly solid resin, I guess. It's fine. Two more thing in homewares. This tiny wee treasure chest is very light plastic. I got it because I wanted something to keep bobby pins in, because it drives me nuts having bobby pins everywhere. As you can imagine, I use quite a few of them. I feel like, you know, this wouldn't withstand a beating. It was like $2.50. It's pretty cute and it does the thing I wanted it to do. It contains hair clips. This homeware item is maybe a bit embarrassing, but I have wanted one for a long time. If you don't have one of these, you should get one and thank me later. Have you ever heard of like a thing called the squatty potty? Well, listen, your butt is part of you and it also needs to be looked after. It costs $13, which is pretty cheap. It's black, which is good. What it is it's a thing that slides under your toilet. That you slide it out when you, I'm not gonna go into details, but you should definitely get one. Your butt will thank you. It already has a big crack in it, but that's not because it's flimsy or something. It's not, it's fine. That's because Mr. L slammed the door on it. I wouldn't want to put my whole weight on it, but it's perfectly adequate for what it's supposed to do, and it was pretty cheap. Last home decor item before we move on to our next section. Bloody hell, there's so much. You might have seen these advertised. I've seen these around on the internet for a long time, but if I ever saw them for sale, they were always really expensive. I'm not sure if they were like originally some artist's thing they'd made. No Googling could help me figure that out, but backpacks. Look at them. So these were a pack of 2 and they're much bigger than I expected. Like, they're much bigger than normal ordinary pegs. They were $4.40 for a pack of 2, which is super cheap. They're friggin' brilliant. They're so cute. Look at it. I have absolutely no idea what you're supposed to use these for, but all I know is that now I want dozens of them. One of the most obvious things, which I haven't mentioned yet, are these hair extensions, right? I doubt that any of you were thinking that I'd dyed my hair or whatever, because I don't think they really look real, but they don't look really fake either, actually. I've got a whole lot of them here, a whole big pile of them in. I've neglected to write down what they cost, but they were pretty cheap. They were like $6 or something like that. I'm a bit miffed that the top of them isn't really black like it's supposed to be. It's like the red dye ran into the black and made it sort of purpley. I was pleasantly surprised. Like, I've definitely bought more expensive hair extensions that have been worse. They're absolutely fine. I don't know why. I must have read some article somewhere that said these were good for you. For a while I'd wanted some of those like ice globes that you rub on your face, that you keep in the fridge and you rub on your face. Oh, they're actually so nice. This was $12.50 for a pair. I expected them to be shit. Again, they're not shit. They're fine. This video was brought to you by the word fine. They're made of glass. There was a bunch of different colors you could choose from. They're full of these little balls. I had to keep the box just to show you because it's quite funny. Hang on. Do elegant natural woman. Do not strike and press hard so as to avoid unnecessary damage caused by damage. I also got a set of makeup brushes. I have a very, very similar set of makeup brushes over in Scotland. So these are kind of like, they look the same, but they're like a cheaper version. There are 10 of them and they were $4. I was like, for 10 brushes for $4, I don't care if they're not that good. They're not great, but they're fine. Not sure what each brush is meant to be. They're just like synthetic fiber or whatever, and I've been keeping them in one of these coffin boxes. Last beauty item, I decided to get some nails, some press-on nails. I don't have the time or money these days to go get my nails done. That's why they always look like total shit. So these look quite cute and they were so cheap. What they cost, like $2 or something? They were $4 these. I like nails that I know aren't gonna snap off, so I don't use press-on nails for a long time. But you know, I thought I'd give them a hoon. Got a wee bottle of nail glue here. Oops, glued my fingers together a wee bit. There we go, look. Fits nicely, looks nice, even the glue works. Next I'll show you some jewellery. I got this big earring. I feel like I've definitely seen it somewhere before. This is just one big crucifix earring. It's meant to look a bit like a fake stretched piercing. It's fine. It's fine. This next one was a lot smaller than I expected, but it's very cute. What did it cost? $2. This was $2. I'm afraid that these metals might be just pure cancer, but I'm kind of tempted to take these metal items to the local university to see if I can get them tested. Most things are like made of an alloy, and they tend to be pretty safe. Another crucifix item is this hair clip. Again, it's better than I thought it was going to be. Just a wee crucifix attached to a clip, but it feels like it's attached pretty solidly. There's a shop in town that sells quite a lot of like cheap stuff, and I've bought like quite a few bows and hair clips and stuff for my wee 2-year-old. You can literally like use them once and they just break. This is way better than that. This was like less than $2. This I'd seen a few times. This is, well, it's a sword. It looks like a letter opener, but it's actually for your hair. It's like one of those hair sticks. So you put this through a bun and it's got this wee blood drop. Cool. Actually, I like this. I thought it was different and interesting. Again, I've had this pin on my wish list on Etsy for a long time, so I know it is made by an individual person. So I ordered the Temu version of it, and I was expecting it to be terrible, but again, it's not terrible. I don't have the original to compare it to, but you might have seen this around before. I don't know, it's so extremely cute. Genuinely expecting this to be a pathetic copy, but it's not. I have had one item, another set of enamel pins, not turn up. I haven't actually pursued that yet with Temu, so I haven't yet experienced their customer service, and I'm really miffed about that because I do actually have the original. Like, I bought the pins from the Etsy seller ages ago. They're these two little bat enamel pins. You might have seen me wearing them. I wear them on the lapels of one of my jackets, and I'm really miffed that didn't turn up because that's something that I could actually compare. But in general, a lot of people were saying like, oh, they'll steal your card details, or this will happen, or that'll happen, or blah blah blah, or your things won't show up. But I bought everything myself with my own card, and it got here really quickly. It only took a few days, which for New Zealand is bloody good, and the shipping was free. Three more things. Golly. Years and years ago, I'd had all these blood bags that I used to use for like drinking because I'm super cool. I saw they had them, so I got some more, and they would be absolutely perfect for my blood punch / cocktail recipe, which I put up recently. So these are refillable blood bags that you can drink from. Like I said, I got some years ago, and it confused the hell out of me because they didn't come with one of these, which is a thing to fill the belly thing with. I had a jolly hard time getting anything into these blood bags, but there's 10 of them in this packet. I'm stoked that it actually came with the bloody syringe. They were $13.50 for all 10. There's also these like clips, clip the tube closed so that your drink does not leak. These stickers for the front, let me read it to you. Vampire meaning build thirsty monster mean to draw blood, the famous monster in the western world. The reason why is a monster, because it has a strange identity, neither god nor the devil, not a person. In May Sot, early Mesopotamian civilizations, myths and legends. I really don't understand how this happens because, I mean, Google Translate would do a better job. I'm pretty sure there are people out there who speak both Chinese and English. Speaking of blood bags, I don't know about other Asian countries, but I know that in Japan, your blood type is kind of like your zodiac sign. It like says something about your personality. So I think that's what these are meant to be for. They make a nice little gift for a nurse. This is a little blood bag keyring. Now that I know my blood type, I got my blood type on a little keyring. It's got one of those loops for cell phones. Do any phones still come with the wee thing on them that you can like hang a charm off? I've seen these online for ages. I wanted one for ages, and now I have one. It's so adorable, and it only costs $3. Last thing, I thought these were so adorable. But these were a bit more expensive. These were $8, but there's a whole packet of them. Paper clips. They are little bat paper clips, and they're good. It was the sort of thing when I was at school or university. They're so cute. We finally got there. I showed you everything. That was a lot. That was a big haul. Like I said, I feel like my money went pretty far. So here's my verdict on Temu. Massively overwhelming website. They have bloody fucking everything, pretty much. And when it came to looking at things that I recognized as obvious knockoffs, I also noticed that they weren't necessarily being deceitful about what the thing would look like that you got. I did see quite a lot of listings where you'd see this amazing item in the main picture, but if you scroll through all the pictures, you will see like a less good version of the thing, and that is probably what you're gonna get. My advice, if you do shop on Temu, look through all the pictures. Depending on what it is, the thing might be that good, or what you'll actually get will be in another picture. Out of all these items, there is not a single thing that I don't like. There's nothing that I was like, oh, that's disappointing. Nothing that like fell apart, nothing that looked particularly shit. Everything met or exceeded expectations. Everything came well packaged. As someone who's in New Zealand where it's so expensive and difficult to get anything off the internet, it was a really positive experience for me. I had no trouble with my order, nothing seemed dodgy. Genuinely a positive experience. Apart from the fact that I did see a lot of knockoffs, which is very naughty, and I will say it again, if there's something from an individual artist that you really want, you should absolutely buy it from them because it's going to be the real thing and not an imitation of it. You can never be sure with knockoffs. The prices are often not that much less. For God's sake, support independent artists and makers, please. Apart from that, as I've said 1,000 times in this video, everything was fine. It was fine. I was expecting it to be bad, and it wasn't bad. This is probably my favorite thing. Like I said, I want several of them now. Alas, poor Yorick. Time for my verdict on Temu, and I did not expect to be saying this. Based on my experience and the items I received, I have to give Temu a verdict of legit. Did not expect that. Really, genuinely, pleasantly surprised. I will only ever be honest, and I have to be honest. I wanted to say this was bad, but it's not. So I'm gonna go put this on the wall now, and I'm gonna fill this up with some hand cream because God, I go through that stuff. Have you bought anything from Temu? Did you have a good experience? If you have not already subscribed to my spooky channel, please do so. And as always, take care of yourself, be nice to each other, and I'll see you next time. Bye!